Okay, we're ready to go.
Okay, cool. Okay. How do I start this one? What was the snapping for? I don't understand.
It's so that we can hook the audio up with because this audio is gonna be better.
Oh,
than,
okay.
Like, the camera audio.
1, 2, 3. Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the pod.
I thought she was gonna keep talking, so I kept drinking my drink. I'm so sorry.
Well, welcome back to the pod. First and foremost, thank you so much for listening to our first episode.
We were literally shocked. I didn't know I had that many people that wanted to listen to what I have to say until this week. And now I feel like I have a lot to say.
Yeah. You don't matter.
So let's run it back.
Well, before we get started, I think we need to address the
elephant in the room.
Elephant in the room.
Or
the Kraken in the room. I know.
Thank you everyone for backing me up. I knew I was right. That's all I'm going to say. Yet again.
I don't know how I thought it was Kraken, but I just feel like that's maybe something that I grew up hearing. Maybe it's because my parents said it because they didn't know it was actually pronounced Kraken. But I'm glad that we have this safe space where we can, make mistakes and own up to them.
Yeah, it's definitely, we all, we live and we learn and you grow from it.
And I do feel like I've grown from it. And I do feel like I am only going to say Kraken for the rest of my life. So.
Because what's better than what's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
Maybe that's how we should intro all the pods.
Exactly.
Don't be an inside joke.
Exactly. So today is an exciting day because we have a lot of things to talk about. Lex, you want to kick us off?
Yes. So a lot happened this past week, which, a lot always happens because we live in the US of A. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have a lot of great topics for today's show. I know a lot of people enjoyed the Prince Harry excerpts from the last episode. And let me tell you, there's some more. This book has been absolutely absurd. And so we're going to do another audio and hopefully Nikki hasn't heard it. So we'll get into that a little later. Mm-hmm. And then we have some current events that are happening in, pop culture. And then today's topic is around the overall obsession the internet has these days with mocktails, being sober curious, and the phenomenon that is pre-biotic drinks.
I am on that wave.
As you can see, if you're watching the video format, we are on that wave. I have 4 flavors of Oilipop here and we're going to get into it. And I was going to do some sort of joke around gut health, but it just escaped me.
There's no funny jokes about gut health.
It's called I Have IBS.
It's IBS.
Exactly.
Cool. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is our current events, as per usual.
And the first current event I wanted to do, and Nikki was like, no, we're not going to talk about this.
I just don't know too much about her. She seems like a great gal. The only thing that I know about this person is that she's Miley Cyrus's godmother.
And that's honestly all you really need to know she's an icon. So Dolly Parton turned 77 this past week.
Woo!
And let's just say I have always thought she's an icon. She's a legend and she is the moment. Let's just say that. I've actually seen her home. I've been outside of it.
Isn't it called Dollywood?
No, that's like her theme park.
Oh, okay.
But I've actually been outside of her house.
Wait, she has a theme park?
She has a theme park, Dollywood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in Tennessee. We need to make a trip.
Okay.
But one thing I'll say is, and this is going to be a shocker for Nikki because we had a conversation about this earlier. I used to love country music. In high school.
I sent Lexi a text message today in our group chat, and I sent out a group message asking for some good country music recommendations because I was in a mood, and you immediately responded with no. And now you're on the pod, on the record, saying that you're a big country gal?
I used to be a country gal. I used to go to the concerts. I grew up in Ohio. There was nothing else to do. But anyway, so I had an obsession with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill back in the day. And so there was, I don't know why, I just thought they were really cute. They were like, it's true love.
Yes.
And there was this, you know how you can go and see like celebrities' homes?
Yeah.
There's like those tours.
Yeah.
So there was one of those, and not thinking that it would be creepy at all, I was like, I'm going to pay $80 to go on this tour. And they took us outside of Dolly Parton's home.
Amazing.
And it looks amazing. It's a massive mansion in the middle of like the woods.
You know what I do know about Dolly Parton? There's this like phenomenon that she wears skin-colored gloves with acrylic nails on them.
I have not heard of that.
Wait, no, you haven't heard that?
But now I need to research it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just know that there's some speculation happening that she's wearing these gloves that are hand-colored. And they have acrylics to the gods, done to the gods.
It's giving like the things you got for Halloween that you would put over your fingertips with the red nails. That's what it's giving.
Yeah.
But she did on her birthday release cupcake mix and like cake mix. And when I tell you, the outside of it reminded me of the Easy Bake Oven. So you'll have to look it up after the pod because the branding is top tier.
I actually owned an Easy Bake Oven.
I did too. The brownies, I mean, they looked a little creepy and alien-like, but they slapped.
Yeah, but the fact that you were baking a whole ass baked good with a light bulb, something just doesn't add up here.
You know,
Thomas
honestly,
Edison is saying, he's screaming from his grave saying, I did not build this for this.
And maybe that's what's wrong with me to this day. So we'll blame it on the Easy Bake Oven.
We'll blame it on the Easy Bake Oven. So anyways, happy birthday, Dolly. We love you so much here at the pod.
Working 9 to 5. Wow.
Whoa. There's some Southern twang. Well, that's all I have to say about Dolly Parton. Happy birthday. I hope you listen to the pod and I hope you have a great day. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about today that's happening in the news, not really in the news actually, it's just happening in pop culture. Coachella lineup has dropped and I am thrilled. How do you feel about Coachella? Are you a Coachella girl?
I never have been. I'm just not a music festival person.
Yeah.
And then I think Coachella, and I just think of like that one year they did it, and then there were all the videos all over the internet of people waiting like 3 hours for an Uber, and they're freezing because it's the desert, and now it's nighttime and it's cold, and then there were like 20 people staying in a 1-bedroom Airbnb, and I was like, that just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Yeah, honestly, that's super valid, and I'm personally not a huge festival kind of person either. I mean, I'm not a huge festival person when it comes to camping. Like, I don't like to be spending time in a campsite. I like if I'm gonna go to Coachella, or I'm gonna go to a festival, I want to have the good experience of going to the shows,
taking a shower at the end of the day. Yeah.
But Coachella lineup dropped, and it's a big one because we have the king himself, Frank Ocean, performing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Is he like the headliner? He's
a headliner for Sunday, and honestly, I'm not too crazy about the other days. I haven't really taken a good look at the whole like lineup. It's been sort of a rash decision to end up going to Coachella, but you know what?
It was just Frank Ocean that did it for you.
It was Frank Ocean that did it for me. I think there's also like Jay Wolf and like a couple other Jai Wolf, and I think there's also a couple other Wolf.
Who let the dogs out?
Jai. But yeah, to your point, is it worth waiting 3 hours at the end of the night? I don't know, but I think for me, if I see Frank Ocean and I get to cry in the middle of Indio, it is. But what I'm actually really getting, excited about is the festival looks.
Yeah, Coachella, I will say whenever it comes around, and of course I'm always following the influs because that's my job. I do love seeing the fits, and I especially love seeing the assless chaps from James Charles every year. Really want to know what he's going to bring out this year that we haven't seen yet, because I think we've seen it all.
Hi, sisters. Hi, sisters. Yeah, James Charles came to Coachella cheeked up on a Thursday, and I literally was just like, this he's on the run. But yeah, influencer outfits at Coachella they have me a little bit shook. I'm not gonna lie.
They get like more and more over the top every year, and there's sometimes where I'm like, are you at Burning Man or are you at Coachella seeing Frank Ocean?
You know what?
Or are you both?
You're at both. The line is so blurred these days. But you know what? I've been thinking about what I want to wear, and I think I'm just going to go full on utilitarian. I think for me, it's more about the practicality of the outfit. I'm going to go full on gorpcore. I'm going to wear my, cargo pants, something fanny pack, something with a lot of packets. I want to be able to have snacks in my pockets. But I'm really excited, and I really wish you were coming.
Well, I will not be there. Yeah. So no one can convince me, but I did hear that it was like crazy to get tickets or something.
It was crazy to get tickets. And, this goes back to the Taylor Swift ticket debacle.
I thought by now she would have fixed it and I thought, Ticketmaster would have burned to the ground by now, but we all kind of forgotten about it, but I haven't. Because I didn't get a ticket.
I did. Well, you know what the thing is? I didn't personally get the ticket, but there's always one person in the friend group. And if you have a friend that is this friend in your friend group who is able to secure the bag on these tickets, give them everything that they want in life. Give them everything that they want in life, because that is playing God.
That is. And that's just called luck. And some people have it and others don't. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of the people that don't. So you need those friends in your life.
Mm-hmm. Well, good thing I have some. Bitch.
Yeah, same.
Anyways, that's all I have to say about Coachella.
Mhm.
I'll keep you posted when I end up going, but I'm really excited, and I'm super excited to sing Frank Ocean songs in the middle of the
A
desert.
potato flew around
My room before you came. Excuse the mess you made.
I was like, when are we going to stop? Oh, we're going. We're still going. Well, speaking of influencers, there is something that has happened in the past week that I can't get rid of off of my TikTok timeline, so I think we need to discuss it.
Let's hear it.
It is the Tarte Dubai trip.
Whoop whoop.
And as someone who works in influencer marketing, I
Yeah.
think I can definitely, speak my thoughts on this topic.
Let them know.
So influencer trips, it's not a new thing. I think because Tarte is doing this crazy Dubai trip, right? It's like it's the first one in a while. But prior to COVID, I mean, it was a thing. Like that's what these
Tripping with Tarte.
They used to go to like Bora Bora, and then we have Revolve. I mean, remember all the Revolve trips? Like they were absolutely absurd, and like every influencer was there.
Mm-hmm.
And so this isn't anything new. But I think why people are like, this is absurd is the fact that they chose Dubai.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually smart that they chose Dubai because no one was talking about Tarte.
I mean, I used Tarte quite a bit actually in my youth. The Shape Tape. Do you remember 2016 Cosmetics? Where
Shape Tape?
Yeah, Tarte Shape Tape. It's like their concealer that is just like it's so thick. It's literally Elmer's glue.
Oh, I could have used that honestly.
Yeah, honestly, it's not too bad. But Tarte has always been the big player when it comes to influencers. I feel like they've been really in the weeds with being in touch with them, making these brand trips happen, doing collaborations.
They really like to foster the relationship piece, which I'm a big advocate for that too, because when you work in influencer marketing, it's so competitive where sometimes all you have is the fact that these influencers might like you as a person and they're going to email you and be like, hey, your competitor reached out to me, but I'd rather work with you.
Yeah.
So I get the relationship aspect, but I think because we're basically in a recession, they're sending influencers on this lavish trip. Like, I don't think any of us would have bat an eye if it was somewhere like Hawaii.
Yeah. I think you should also talk to us about the mechanics of the trip, the specifics of the trip, because they are in Dubai, but the way that they got to Dubai, they went on Emirates
business class, which if you look up those tickets, those are like $20,000 each.
They're 20 G's right there. And they got a +1.
Yeah, I saw Alex Earl brought her mom. That was honestly really hard.
Monet Michael, shout out to her, love her and her mom. Mwah, mwah. And yeah, so they have just off rip there. They have like what?
How many influencers did they send too? Because I actually never saw like a picture of all of them together.
Yeah, I feel like they probably had like 15, 20.
I'd say 15. Someone who works in the industry. 20 would be a lot. 15 you can kind of manage because they have to, go into the hotel rooms. I know these teams aren't big because usually the influencer marketing teams are small. We're the scrappy ones, So the mechanics of this trip, and I dug deeper into it because Tarte actually did an interview, the CEO today with Glossy. Is that what it's called?
Glossier?
No, that's why I always get it mixed. It's the Glossy. It's an article. It's a media company, I think.
Liar.
Okay. I swear to God. Anyways, they did an interview with the CEO, and she shed it. She shed a
tear because they spent so much money on this fucking trip.
She shed some light on why they felt it was totally something that was within their marketing budget and warranted. This is a good point. They would rather spend the money on the relationships with influencers and giving them a good time and like really fostering those to get them to, the top of mind recall marketing metric that we know of.
Big brain energy coming over from Lexi's mic. Pew, pew, pew.
My 9 to 5 before my 5 to 9.
Go Dolly, go bestie.
You can do that. So you can spend I'm going to assume that they probably spent the flights. I don't know if they actually spent the hotel because they probably did a brand partnership with the hotel, I would think. So they're probably spending up to like $200,000, $300,000 for this trip is what I would think.
And this hotel that they're staying at is one of those. It's wild. It's one of those hotels where you just can't even look at the prices online because it's so expensive.
It's so out of reach for me. But it's cool. It looks like you're in like a genie's bottle.
It is.
That's like what I would expect a genie's bottle to look like.
I'm a genie in a bottle, baby.
Should we just turn this into a music podcast? Because we're really